Hi folks, so where am I today? I'm somewhere really busy, as you can see, people around everywhere. I am at a zoo in France. This is the ZooParc de Beauval. Now, regular viewers of the channel will know I went to Longleat recently and had a very disappointing lunch. But we're in France today, home of the decent cuisine of the world, aren't we? So, will their zoo have better food than Longleat? We're going to find out. But in the meantime, we're going to have a little wander around, see the animals and see what this park's all about. Let's go. So we've only just scratched the surface of this zoo so far, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of good stuff here. There's people everywhere. We've come on a French bank holiday. So it's really busy, but that's okay. Anyway, like I say, we've been mooching around, seeing the animals. It's really well thought out, this park, actually, because there's loads of shaded areas. And it's a hot day today. It's going to be about 28, 29 degrees. So it really benefits from having lots of shade. There's lots of trees about. There's covered little walkways when you go to see the animals. It's really good. Anyway, let's go find some more animals before we get something to eat. Right folks, it looks like we're about to enter an Asian zone of the zoo. It's got to lunchtime. We're coming out at like 20 to 1. The queues for all the fast food places and all the restaurants are massive right now. So what we've decided to do, we're going to have a late lunch. Little one's got some crisps with her, she's munching away on now. We've got a couple of other snacks in the bag, so we'll make do with those and we'll have a late lunch in a little bit. Let's go find some more animals, shall we? Pandas this way. Right guys, we're having a bit of a mare. So we decided we were going to have a bit of a later lunch because the queues were massive earlier on. Now bearing in mind this place is open till 8 o'clock this evening. So we thought there's going to be loads of food all day long in there. So we went and saw some animals. We went to a bird show which started at 3 o'clock. Meant we had to be in there about 2:30 to queue up for it. Came out of there, decided time to find something to eat. Went to a place that's supposed to be like a grill restaurant. They only had chips left. Walked a little bit further around the corner to where there's a burger restaurant. They got nothing left apart from some muffins and stuff. So we're struggling here. It's now after 4 p.m. And like I say, bearing in mind this place is open till 8 o'clock. I know it's a busy day because it's a bank holiday here in France, but it seems they're a little bit unprepared for the volume of people that wanted to eat, because it looks like there's not much left to eat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're on our way to try and find another place. Will that have any food? We'll find out. Right guys, disaster kind of averted. We found somewhere that had some food, very limited food. Now basically this is a self-service restaurant where they have a bunch of different options available during the day. They didn't have any hot food left at all. There's just a few little cold plates left. So we managed to pick up some little bread rolls. We have got some pate here available. A salad, apparently this is a salad campanade, which has got little potatoes, egg, walnuts, bits and bobs in there, and then a couple of different cake options. We have this, which apparently is called a chocolate charlotte. Don't know what it is. It feels kind of light and spongy. And a local speciality, this apparently is a Tarte aux pommes from the Loire Valley, the Val de Loire tarte aux pommes. So hopefully that's not too cinnamony actually, because otherwise I won't enjoy that at all. So I guess we're going to start with some pate in a roll. Right, so there's no indication what these pates are. One is slightly more coarse than the other, so that's the only frame of reference I've got. So we're going to go with the slightly less coarse one to start with. It's more like a kind of terrine actually. I might need a fork rather than a knife to pick this one up. Here we go, look at this. So that is what we're dealing with. Probably made of pork, I would guess. It comes on a little plate, like I say, with one other pate, some pretty sorry looking salad, and a couple of little cornichons, little gherkins. And here we are, so we got it on the bread. Let's give it a try. It's not bad actually. It's got almost like a pulled pork consistency and almost that sort of flavour as well. Not barbecuey or anything, but almost like a roasted pork. So obviously the pork has been cooked up, shredded and made into this terrine. The flavour of it is actually okay. We've got some mustard here as well. I'm going to grab a little bit of that to put on the roll, because I think that will go quite nicely with this. Now, this little pate plate I think was about €6 for a couple of slices of pate. So, you know, you're paying zoo prices, as we discovered in Longleat recently. That was high prices for not very nice food. That actually works quite nicely. The bread, they're just kind of little, almost like mini ciabattas or something. But that terrine pate kind of thing with that mustard is a really nice flavour. The second one we have, I'll show you a bit of that now. Here we go. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on it a bit more. So we've got some little herbs on the top of there. And this is a slightly coarser grain of pate. So more like what I think of as a sort of pate de campagne kind of thing. Let's try that. That has got a hit of flavour. That's got some like onion or garlic or something running through it. It's coarser, like I say. Kind of almost like sort of chunks of meat being chopped up, made into a pate that way. But it's got a lot of flavour. Again, we're going to try that with the mustard in a second. But I do quite like that pate. It's not something I would have chosen, I don't think, if they'd had all of the hot options available. But as an emergency measure, right at the end of the day, it's actually okay. And again, it works nicely with that mustard. Looking at this, when I picked it up, I had relatively low expectations. It looked like just a couple of sorry slices of pate on a plate. But the flavour of it is actually really good. Onto the salad. So let me show you this salad before I tuck into it. So we've got a couple of eggs here, hard-boiled eggs. There's walnuts in here, and there's these little things called, which would describe as rion. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's some kind of pork. That's what it kind of looks like to me. Little sort of diced up bits of bacon or something, maybe. There's little baby roasted potatoes in there and a bunch of mixed leaves. Some kind of dressing underneath. Looks a bit like a sort of mayo kind of thing. Anyway, let's give it a try. It's an interesting little mixture of stuff by the looks of it in here. And sort of just dig right in and get some of these salad leaves out with a little bit of whatever that... I say it's a dressing, but it's kind of like, almost like a cheese of sorts. It is a cheese of sorts. A very soft cheese. But I guess goes quite nicely with those walnuts. So let's try that. Oh, I've got one of these little bits of maybe pork, who knows, on there. It feels like pork. Can't really taste it because the cheese is quite a dominant flavour there. Let's give it a proper try. Yeah, it's almost like a sort of bacony kind of thing in there. Not salty, so maybe it's more like belly pork or something. But it's not bad. In fact, it's quite a nice combination here. You've got eggs, you've got that little bit of pork meat in there for the protein. You've got some cheese stuff in here, the leaves, the little baby potato I haven't tried yet. That's okay. Now this little salad cost €9. €9. But I've got to say, they've actually quite well thought out how they put this together, I think. Nice mixture of leaves. The cheese, the pork, the walnuts in there. It does actually work together quite nicely. Not bad at all. I'd better stop eating it, otherwise Mrs. Greeno won't get any. So while Mrs. Greeno has a little go at that salad, I'm going to go back to this pate a little bit because I've still got half my bit of bread left. And one little thing I forgot to try that came on the plate, one of my favourite little things, a cornichon, little gherkiny thing. So we're going to put that on with the mustard, with the pate. Yeah, that's good. Nice little vinegary hit, cuts through the richness of that pate. Gherkins make everything better, don't they? They're great on burgers, brilliant with fish and chips, and also with pate. So in fact, last time I spoke to you, I said we'd been to 2 restaurants and couldn't get any food there. This is the 4th one we've been in. We tried a pizza place on the way down too, and they were just cleaning out the kitchen as we got there. So, I mean, it is late in the day. We've ordered and I'm now eating most of the, well, all the savoury items anyway. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but this place is open till 8, so they really ought to have better options available for people who are staying until closure. You might want to have an early dinner. I know Europeans will often have a later dinner than we might do at home, but still, you'd think, you know, people who come with kids, they need feeding, don't they? So you'd think they'd have something available for them. Anyway, I digress. We're going to move on to the sweet items now. This is called a chocolate charlotte. And I don't know what it is. So, let's have a proper look at it and we'll open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so there's like a cakey kind of exterior to it. This looks like chocolate icing or something on the top, little raspberry on the side, and what looks like mini chopped up little M&Ms or something around it. So maybe the best thing to do is to grab a knife and see if I can cut into it. Bear with me 1 second. The knife was almost out of arm's reach. So, oh, it's like a mousse inside. Let me spin that round so you can see. So that is just chocolate on the top, a chocolate mousse underneath, and then a little cakey bit around the outside. Oh, that should be a treat, shouldn't it? Let's give it a try. Now this cake was actually chosen by Little 'Un, and she's just told me, I wonder if it's worth the €5.80. I didn't realise it was that much. I'm not sure I'd have bought it if it was. So we're going to try it anyway. So maybe it's a little sort of choux pastry kind of thing on the outside. Like I say, filled with chocolate mousse. Let's give that a try. I do not know what that outside is. It's not quite a choux pastry, I don't think. It's a little bit spongier. Almost kind of like a flan case, maybe. But, I mean, it's basically just there as a vehicle for this chocolate mousse, isn't it? Which is really rich. And like a milk chocolate mousse rather than a dark chocolate. It's very smooth. It has a nice flavour, really rich chocolatey flavour. And as you kind of scoop into it and pick up those tiny little M&M kind of crumbs where they've obviously just blitzed them in a food processor or something, you get these tiny little crunches in there as well. Oh, do you know what? That's all right, that is. I'm not normally one for chocolate puddings. But if I was going to have a chocolate pudding, it would be something like this. I'd say it is quite rich, but because of the sponge element and because it's a milk chocolate, it's a little lighter. That is actually all right. Okay, final item that we're going for is this apple tart. Apparently this is a special Val de Loire apple tart, so it should be a speciality of this region. I don't know what makes it different. Got a little crumb on there, a little half a strawberry, very, very finely sliced apple in a pastry case, glazed presumably with apricot jam or something like that, and baked in the oven. Now I'm going to go for this properly. We are not going with cutlery. I am just going to bite the damn thing. Oh yeah, that that is good. So we have got the apple very thinly sliced, but when it's cooked, it hasn't actually lost its textural integrity. It's got a bit of bite to it. It really is rather good. It is glazed with something, and there's no cinnamon in there, thankfully, which is a real bonus. The pastry on the bottom is quite soft. It's not crispy, but that's often the way with French pastries, isn't it? Yeah, that is a really tasty little dessert. I'd be happy to pick that up in a patisserie, I think, not just a little cafe at a zoo. This is the place that we actually finished up in, Le Tropical self-service restaurant here at the Zoo de Beauval. Now, like I say, this was pretty much a last resort. This was not someone we were planning to come to, but the place I wanted to go to was sold out of food. So what can you do? You just find what's available. You adapt, improvise, and crack on with it. Anyway, the whole menu is here. There wasn't much left available when we got here. It was about 4:30. Just a few items in a cold fridge, a couple of savoury items, and a few cakes. We made do. We got the pate. That was really tasty. 2 different types of pate in there. Really, really good. We had the salad. The salad, I believe it's called a salad campagnard here. So it had little bits of pork in there, a local cheese. It had an egg, walnuts, little bits and bobs in there. And it was quite a tasty salad, to be honest, for something that's put together at a zoo. We also had a couple of sweet items, didn't we? We had the chocolate charlotte, which was a surprisingly good thing. Little kind of cakey, choux pastry kind of base to it. Chocolate mousse inside, some chocolate work on the top, and little bits of crushed up M&M around the side. It was really, really tasty. And the local apple tart too. That was good. No cinnamon in there, which always gets a thumbs up from me. Very, very nicely made. A little bit of bite still to the apple. Not too sweet, really good. So, if I compare this to my experience at Longleat that I had recently, where we went in, there were dirty tables, dirty cutlery, and really substandard food. Even though we've come here right at the end of the day, the restaurant is clean and tidy. The cutlery was clean, that's a bonus. And the food, even though it was basically the leftovers at the end of the day, was all tasty. So, do you know what? I've got to score this out of 5, haven't I? I mean, it can't be that high a score because we didn't get the hot food that we wanted. Is that our fault for coming too late? I don't know. But I was going to say like a 3.5 out of 5. I quite enjoyed what we'd just eaten in there. Not bad at all. Does it get the Greeno green light? Nah, not quite. Amber light, probably. Right then, guys, that's going to be it from us. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, click a thumbs up on here for me. And if you've enjoyed it, why not consider subscribing? I'm always grateful to each and every one of you that comes and joins the channel. Right, we're off to go and see some more animals. We've got another 2.5 hours before they kick us out, so still plenty for us to go and see and do. I'll catch you next time.